High Level is a full CRM and marketing platform, and I've used some of the best in the SaaS industry. And we are live from LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. It's Reviting's Whiskey Wednesday. That's right. It's been 2 years since I've had whiskey on the show. But, it felt right. Tonight's the night. I can't even stand the smell of this. So we'll see what goes down. But we have a hot night planned. I want to know in the comments, what all are you pouring tonight? And be sure to let us know if you're here. Where are you tuning in from? What do you do? We want to make this relevant for you. We'll put your comments on the screen so the guests can see them once we get started. But before we do, I want to tell you really quick that I couldn't do this entire show or build a marketing agency without Cherry Assistant. We need to delegate. I know it's something that I struggle with a lot, and I'm sure there's things that you could probably pass off to someone else, and Cherry Assistant has helped me do that. If you have some sort of need, so mine was live streams. I go live every Wednesday, and I help other people go live on a weekly basis. We take the live stream, we turn it into a podcast. We take the live stream, we turn it into short form video, newsletter, etc. And so now VAs and Cherry Assistant has helped place me with virtual assistants who can help me with a lot of that work. So definitely check out Cherry Assistant. We'll put a QR code up here on the screen. Otherwise, you can just go to cherryassistant.com and you can let them know that you heard about us through Whiskey Wednesday or through Jessie. And then also, if you've been here before, I talk about High Level every week. I personally am excited for hopefully a high level integration with LeadMagic and Clay one day, but we'll get into that later maybe. But I digress. Right now we'll just live with Zapier. But High Level is my everything tool, and it's great for marketing automation. It really empowers us to just nurture your leads. For example, we get 20 plus leads a week, and I'm not calling any of them, but they're getting emails, they're getting content, they're getting voicemail drops automatically, all through High Level. And there's AI involved and so much more. Plus, since we help people with podcasts, we can build a podcast booking calendar there, and then all just feeds into your CRM. So we're moving people from these big B2B SaaS platforms that you're paying thousands of dollars a month for onto app.reviting.com, which is High Level white labeled. So I would love to help you figure out how to white label or just get started on app.rev or on even High Level. High Level is only $97 a month. If you work with us, it'll come included, but I digress. You can use this QR code. You can get a 30-day free trial on my affiliate link. And if you do, reach out to me because it's in my favor to help make sure that you succeed on High Level. So anyway, let's get right into it because we have some hot guests tonight, some of my favorites. So we're getting right into it. Welcome to the show, Jessie, Ouellette, and Dorothy. Welcome to the show. I really appreciate it. Dorothy, you're coming in from Clay. So first of all, let us know your full life story. And everyone's going to go search you on LinkedIn. So we know you work at Clay, you're a GTM engineer. You do all these amazing things. You have a very wide array of skills, from weightlifting, some Olympic training, background. We can find all of that online, but we want to know the full life circle from birth to what brought you to now in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. All right. Well, let's start. I was born in Anaheim, California. My parents, I believe my dad named me after his math teacher. Pretty stereotypical of Asian, I think. So that's how I got the name Dorothy. I don't think there's actually, just kidding. I think the reason they named me Dorothy though was because it means gift of God, and my dad's a pastor. But moved to Arizona when I was like 3. We moved all around Arizona. Grew up in like South Phoenix, so I'll tell a lot of people I'm from the hood. Things you don't know on my LinkedIn maybe should be worried about, but like I've been shot at quite a few times growing up in high school. I would say I'm not in a gang, but once upon a time there were some affiliations. Um, then went to college at the U of A. I was in a sorority. Doesn't look like it, but I was. I actually helped charter like 3 chapters. And then right out of college, I got a job as a market research associate. Um, and I actually think that was like getting fired from that job was a very pivotal piece to my career because when they told me it was my last day, it was pretty much that like that I had a very specific skill set and I had no idea what that meant. And so it kind of led me on this journey of exploring what like design was and what like things that matter to me and I'm passionate about. And I started a weightlifting coaching company, and then I also had like graphic design in the nighttime. And then yeah, I think the rest is on LinkedIn.
Love that. Thank you. Like, never would have found you to be the sorority girl type, but it makes you even more all encompassing and interesting, Dorothy. And the weightlifting training and coaching, I'm sure that helps with what you're doing at Clay because you can come in and understand what people are going through from a business perspective. But I digress. Jessie, you're coming in, founder, LeadMagic, which is amazing and it's doing awesome things. You've always been providing B2B data to some of the biggest providers out there, and you've just expanded and you're doing new things. I mean, I log into LeadMagic and I don't even recognize it anymore. It's like constantly updating. And so, anyway, we could go into that all day, but we want to know your full life story, what we haven't learned about you from birth to what brought you to now in 2 minutes. We're going to start the clock back up.
Yeah, here we go. So Jessie here, founder of LeadMagic. I grew up in Maine, Bangor area, which is north of Portland, where a lot of people don't realize it goes even further, another 2.5 hours up there. So, I was one of the first people on the block with high-speed internet. So I was able to figure out how to get on the internet and, I learned some stuff. But I took a path of sales, which was great. It was really was humbling, understanding how to get people to buy things. Then, at one point in my career, I was fired over email delivery, but it sort of took a life of its own. Sort of made me why I was like known personally on some of the bigger social media like LinkedIn and those platforms. Basically decided to do a little bit of consulting and then pivoted from the agency to full-time. Just, hey, I'm going to go all in on the SaaS build PLG model. And we built an impressive data enrichment platform, which leverages some AI. We're also a partner with Clay. So we're number one on their email finder waterfall. So we've taken the chance here and joined with, we're partners with Clay. So we have competitors there. We started in 13th place and now we're number one on their work email waterfall. I check it every morning, day in the life, but you got to make sure you're number one. And that's pretty much the story here. So doing well, scaling and learning how to run a business, a SaaS business.
Love it. SaaS business. Okay, so let's get into it. We've got some hot topics here. I'm going to try to drink this whiskey. This will be the first drink, so maybe I'll do it slowly. Are there of you drinking anything? Anyone in the audience drinking anything?
Looks like Dean's got potatoes.
I forgot the alcohol.
That's actually a little more smooth than I thought, but the after was like, ugh. Okay, I digress. First topic, mastering Clay for scalable lead gen. And I'm just going to be like, who wants to kick this one off? I mean, it mentions Clay. So Dorothy, why don't you kick us off?
I mean, how do we define scalable lead gen?
Define it for us.
I feel like that's to me, scalable means that we can repeat similar processes over and over. I think to some people, scalable might also mean that we can grab millions of leads and be able to send messaging out to all of them. So I think there's two potential, maybe more than two, ways that we can go about scaling lead gen. But big fan of, if you guys haven't met Harry Sims, him and I very much align on our approach when it comes to like lead gen and outbound, of like you should be fishing in puddles, not oceans. And so I think with Clay, it really allows you to tap in and identify like your puddles in like a large ocean, right? And so yeah, you can get super segmented, super niche into how you want to target your leads and create customized messaging for them at scale, in a matter of like, minutes, where it used to take you, 10 platforms and probably a hired copywriter, maybe lucky you have a good SDR or something to whip up some messaging, maybe a whole committee to write messaging, and then you put that into a Google Doc. Then finally you put it into a sequence, and then you rip. But I think Clay is definitely changing the game here, and like how like streamlined this can possibly be, especially with the use of AI.
Yeah. So talk to us about that, Jessie. What would you add to all that?
Yeah, so Clay, for a lot of people, Clay, has really changed the game because of the fact that they've made it so easy for you to get access to, building sheets with APIs, really. And I was doing a little bit of that before, and when it first started to come out, I was like, this is really cool. And I noticed there was a lot, like I just would go in there easier, right? Like I was already doing it with like Google Sheets and Airtable and things like that. But then when I got that, I think it was actually Jared who mentioned it. This was early on, super early on even. But once I started doing it, I just was like, all right, let's do this, let's do that. And the creativity part is really what I think is driving a lot of their business. And I think where they got really good was they came, if you look at what even Varun has said, is a lot of the change of the game was when they started working with like agencies like mine and Eric and some of the other ones that were original, Jordan Crawford, and some of those, and they started, what do you want for a product, right? Like they did like that. And then they also did a lot of these like reverse demos, really, which you'll hear a lot. And I think it's just, they've built an incredible community. They've built just a lot of buzz, and it's backed up pretty well, because I've had quite a bit of success with it, and not only as an agency, but also as a partner. And I can see like the people that are using it, and I talk to them, and many of them are LeadMagic customers, and I just see like what they're doing with it, and they're scaling, they're doing the right things. It's not about a spray and pray approach. It's more of a, let's get really targeted. Let's get really narrow. Let's really try to figure out what we're doing here. And I think, Dorothy hit it on the head there when she said it, but it's just it's been an interesting, incredible journey. And a lot of these unicorns, you even see they just don't stack up to the hype. And I think Clay does. I looked at builder.io today. I think they went bankrupt after raising 450, whatever it is, whatever they're happening today. So it's like, man, it's just two stories here. I mean, this is just a great company. And I was in New York with them last week, actually, or 2 weeks ago.
Amazing. Awesome. And so, I don't know, tell us a little bit more about Clay. So who here is in the comments? Like, we want to speak to you, but I know some of the people are like consultants, and then we've got other SaaS players. So like, if they haven't used Clay, like, how do we open their eyes to it? And like, when is it right? And who is it right for? Like, when is it right to get LeadMagic Clay, and who are the right people?
Yeah, so I think, if I'll go for just where I think people start is really when you're starting to identify, like one of the best use cases I think is out there is the identifying your ICP, really. And I just don't think there is a better way to do it than with Clay, really. And what I mean by that is, if you're a small SaaS company and you're building for it, you might go into Clay and you'd put all of the companies that you're targeting in there, and then you would start to get all of the firmographics that you need. Now that's the question, is what do you need, right? So for some people, headcount's going to be very important, right? That's going to, departmental headcount, growth, things like that. And being able to tie all of those sources in just one column and sort of be able to rank gets you all of that information back. And if you are good at Clay and you understand, like you've evolved on it, there's definitely, you start to become pretty aware of where the best quality data is. And that's something that over time you kind of learn in the platform. I think it's also why they help you out with the waterfall, which was a reason that we went from 13th place to first place in the, our quality was good, right? So anyways, it's competitive too, right? Like it's very competitive.
I'm muted. I was like, can we get into a screen share? We want to see you listed as number one. Like, we got to see that once you start sharing your screen, Jessie. But I can, for the people who don't understand waterfall, can you tell us about that? Also, like, explain. So when they start using Clay, then they're going to start sending out emails that are highly targeted. The messages are highly targeted. They're getting data from multiple sources. Like LeadMagic's probably going to be the best. He's already mentioned it's number one. So, like what else? Like what else can they do? Like obviously I have a high level. So I would need to set up Zapier if I was going to like connect high level with Clay right now. So as far as I know, there's not an out of the box solution, but like for someone like me and the people I work with, and also people who use high level, like what could we do with Zapier? And then also like, what do other SaaS companies who use like say HubSpot or the other ones that you have built out integrations, like what does that look like? Like, yeah, obviously there's targeted emails. It's pulling from multiple sources, but like what else what are the tangible things that I'm going to get that I can add into this like workflow and it's going to automate for me?
Sure. Yeah. If you want, I could answer too. Like, and I think Dorothy even shared it. I had a cheat sheet out there that had a lot of the different, use cases, but go ahead, Dorothy, if you want to mention any of our, how you want to.
Love the cheat sheet. We got to see that.
Give me a second. Let me pull up just the whole table so we can see where you sit in that waterfall. But
yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, pull it up here.
Go chasing waterfalls.
It's funny.
TLC waterfalls.
And a lot of the providers, I think, were scared of like going into it, right? Like I think some of the larger ones are now you're seeing, you're even seeing so some of them are now doing waterfalls. So there's a waterfall in Apollo. There's a waterfall in Instantly, right? Like it's starting to become, so Clay sort of set the trend there. And that's, in a sense, what I'm thinking is they really, like a lot of people are following them. And I'd even say this sort of recent changeover of Zoom Info, this GTM stock ticker move, right? It was sort of a, from my perspective, it looked a little bit like they were trying to like catch up to Clay, which is never good when you're a publicly traded company and, they're a smaller, they probably are a little bit nervous right now, right? Because it's definitely a little bit more aggressive in that sense.
All right, can I share screen?
Oh, where is it? Okay, once you share it, I'll have to plug it into the live.
Entire screen?
Careful.
What? Yeah, I know. Be careful.
It's that decision.
What do we see? Do we see a Clay table?
There it is.
All right. Cool. So let's say we have like a list of leads inside of our Clay table. Right. So when it comes to the waterfall, actually Clay has over 100 different enrichment providers, but I'm going to show you our email waterfall because, I mean, Jesse's the guy there.
I might have to have another sip for this. Let's see.
So we actually have a few. We've realized like based on segmentation, different providers work better. But I would say LeadMagic still sits at the top of these.
Whoa, LeadMagic. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, so we actually did run a test against all of the providers to see who would rank the best for the most like quality and coverage of emails, and good old LeadMagic landed at the top there.
Let's see who are the competitors here. I guess no, they're frenemies.
I mean, no,
Finding-
he's a good dude too. I know I give him a hard time, and I respect. I totally respect the guy. Like he's built a
They're
pretty good
probably
business.
all in the Sass Yacht Club.
I did do a rap. I might release it tonight. The diss track, the Find Email diss track. I may release it on the show.
Please.
I've been rapping a lot lately, and I might release it on the show. I'm not sure if that's something we'd have time for later, but it's a
Absolutely.
possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Plug into the comments if you'd like to see Jesse's rap, because I know I would. But keep going. Okay, we're scrolling to the right. This looks like a giant spreadsheet.
Yep, looks like a giant spreadsheet. So essentially with this email waterfall, what happens is, right, it's set up to ping LeadMagic first. If LeadMagic can't find it, we would go to Find Email. If Find Email can't find it, then it Prospeo. And in between each step, you can add in a validation provider. We have zero bounds here, but you can also choose LeadMagic or any of the other providers here. So the final output that you get is a validated work email. Now, right, typically like what would happen in a regular organization or just like even agency land, right? We're probably going to like 10 different providers in order to find that. So think about like the number of clicks that has to happen in order for you to find the correct email. By creating your like a waterfall here, it removes your need to go from platform to platform. And then, Clay automatically pings all of these providers for you to get that email.
Oh, I love it. Sick. Well, way to go, Jessie. And so you said Jared Robin first introduced you to Clay. Like, what made you decide, like, this is the tool we're going to go in on and we're going to, like, build an integration?
I'll show you what I was doing. Here, I'll even show. There we go. I think it's going to let me share. Yes, the screen. All right. Yeah. So what I was doing was I personally was doing a lot of data, running an agency. I had a portal of my own and I was using it to do the same thing. So I got a really good sense of what was going on, sort of figured out my own ways to do things. But if I use a lot of what's great about Clay is like, where there's some people that have talked about Clay is around sort of keeping your credit costs. But I mean, in all data, you're sort of, when you use the data, you want to make sure you have like a plan going into it. So that's why cost. And I think it's really bringing down the cost for a lot of people. That's what's great about it. But it's also a little bit akin to the unlock of like cloud computing, where people are, in the early days of cloud computing, people didn't really have spend management tools like that. So like some of that's being developed now is like, hey, how much are we going to spend on this campaign? Let's put a budget on it, right? Let's do that. Let's use a certain number of credits. So once you get more into the tooling and you realize the power of it, because you can integrate with everything. So here's a good example. So if I was doing, let's just say I did Gong as a company, I would have, then I would put, this is like a table that I made, right? So then I've got my own APIs here that I use, myself. But basically for what I do is I'll grab like the autocomplete here, which is just the domain. So I want to know the domain. I grab that. And then what I'll do is I've got my API here to grab, okay, here's all of the information that I want for Gong. And then, it's a table that fills itself out, right? So you could do all of these things. And what's really interesting is like, we had a client that was a good example of this is we had a client that was very big on two metrics that they really wanted to think through. One of them was departmental hiring on a specific position. So what I did is I added my API in here. This one's not in the Clay store, but this is what it is growth rate. So looking at growth rate on like a 14, like, hey, are they growing? They wanted engineering growth rate. So they would look at departmental growth rate. That's like a big number for them. So if it was like functional growth rate, you would look at that and then you'd say, okay, that's support, that's sales. Like you could see that, and then you can take just the one they want and you can sort of sculpt that, Clay, you could build it, right? And you could build that table. So what you'd want to see is like, all right, well, what's the percentage of engineers? So 24% of the company is engineers at Gong. Okay, well, how many employees is that? That's 461 engineers, right? Median employee tenure. So that's like knowing if there's tenure or headcount issues, right? There's another one, headcount total. So percentage change, this would be like last 6 months. And if you keep going down, what you're starting to see is that there's just a really good opportunity to sort of, this table is ready. I wasn't really expecting to share, but you could see like, all right, I want to see how much hiring are they doing? What's the job opening growth in the engineering over the last 6 months? And then what you have is like a full table that you can use, and you can get the exact information to help prioritize that. One other metric that I'll just finish with this. One other metric they would use is you can see my screen, right? I probably should ask that.
Yep, we see it.
Okay. Yeah. So
just the stuff you want us to see, though, I think.
Just you can see the Clay thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So LCP Lighthouse is a scoring model for how fast your website is. This company sold a web acceleration software, so it was like for getting, their big metric was LCP. That's like one thing that a lot of people deal with. So what it is they wanted a benchmark of like, hey, how good are these companies? So what we did is we helped them put together a table of all of the LCPs for all of the companies. What's up?
LCP. Tell us what that is.
So it's a speed metric that Google has so if you're selling web performance software, LCP is something you might want to.
I gotcha.
And then the other thing they wanted to know is who is their current hosting platform? Like what was their current platform? So are they on there are certain platforms and technologies that they work better with. So if they're like, hey, if you see that they're on this technology stack or hosting provider, it's going to be a better fit for us. So when we took into account like those 3 extra metrics, right? So if you're like, okay, I know they're hiring and engineering more. I know they have this many engineers. I could even, you could even do like a title search like that. I know that they have a low LCP score. I know that they aren't hiring anybody that would be relevant, or they are hiring, relevant roles that our company cares about. Now you're taking into the equation technographics, you're taking into the hiring percentage, and you can probably eliminate or change the priorities of how you go at these companies. So this not only gives you like when people talk about spray and pray, it's like, yeah, but how would you go get all of this information if you weren't plugging it all into APIs? Like, you would have to go manually research this, right? Like that's the only way you'd have to do it. So that's why when I hear it's just people who are usually generally pretty ignorant, right? Like they don't understand that it's this part. Now I know, okay, there's probably a group of people you might want to spray and pray. They're probably not going to be the right fit, but there's another group you might want to have your CEO reach out to, right? And do that one-to-one ABM strategy versus the one-to-many, right? And this is what I think gets overlooked is the ability to do this is so much easier now with Clay. That's where I think people are just, not seeing, like the second I hear it, I just roll my eyes because I'm like, look, I was using the APIs before, so I already knew the power of it. But then when it got brought down and democratized down to the people who really couldn't run an HTTP request or an API call, now you have people who are, essentially your GTM engineers, right? And that's where it all came from. And it's been incredible watching it because it's a lot of people that I sort of either mentored or helped early on when I was doing it. It's just been good. I'm pretty happy with it, but that's it. Really. Yeah.
So it can just be so much more targeted.
Yeah. I feel like
scoring. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of organizations don't know what that data point is for them, though.
That's the secret sauce. They have to have that product market fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the data point?
It's
Dorothy?
for the hiring and firing, like that's a good one. Like, are they hiring? Are they firing? Is there technographics that are there? Is there, it depends on, for you, like, I'll try to do it for you, right? I'm pretty good at this game where you like give me your company and I'll tell you what your metric should be or what you should be looking for. For you, it'd probably be like a lower engagement on LinkedIn, right? So that would be a good one, right? Like, so they're possibly their posts, like they're a company that does a lot of posting on LinkedIn, but they don't get much engagement, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you could call that out and say, hey, I noticed your posts are not doing so well, right? Like, you don't have to say
So
it.
like Clay, you could find that data, like basically. Interesting.
Yeah, and you could do a very simple math equation and rank them all, and you'd be able to put
Oh yeah, MeanBot did that.
Them.
I forgot MeanBot did that. It gave me like a really bad score.
What do you mean?
Meanbot.ai, right?
Yeah, there's a new website out. It's called meanbot.ai, and he really, really is angry. I don't know why. I do know who he is. I will talk to him if he's very angry, but he was a vibe code, and he's now very, if you want to check him out, but it's been going viral in some of the other grayish, darkish circles that I'm in. And, MeanBot's aggressive. That's all I got to say.
Oh man, yeah, but what you were talking about, like pulling data from LinkedIn posts, and I just remembered MeanBot did that because it looked at like the
You might have. I don't think you
total
would do that.
posts or like the engagement per post. I'm like, yeah, it totally roasted me. Anyway, so yeah, no, that's interesting that we can do all that. So I love that. And let's move in. You mentioned vibe coding, so like let's go back and forth between like Clay and vibe coding. But before we do, what would you like tie up with all of this, Dorothy, with Clay?
Well, I mean, this is what Clay calls go-to-market, or the go-to-market alpha, right? You can, as what like Jessie had talked about like at the beginning, like most people just start off with basic firmographics. They send out their emails. But your alpha here, for example, right, is the LCP, the head count, the job changes, and combining that whole as that's your alpha. That's what makes you different. That's how you set yourself apart, and how you can like truly solve the problem. A couple other examples we have a company called Sermi who looks at like OSHA violations that companies have. Supermetrics checks whether like something simple could be like brands versus agency. I worked with a company where we used Gartner's definitions for industries, combined that with their report on IT spending, and we got probably within like 85-90% accuracy of what their IT spend was. There's some very like unique things that you can do to really dial in on like how you reach out, and could be something even as potentially morbid as like how many hospital beds does a healthcare center have, and you can target based on something like that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So people in the comments, like, what would you target? I want to know all this. Also,
a company, we could probably figure out like if anybody has a company, we could probably give them their unique.
Well, we've got AP really active here. He's 30 under 30 Forbes. He's the founder of King of the Curve. It's a now correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're here, AP, in the comments, so like keep your comments flowing. It's a company that helps students who are studying for the MCAT. It's like a community, and it gives them like resources to basically study for the MCAT. And so it's grown.
So is it a B2C play? Does he go out to the so I can tell you the B2C?
Yeah, he's going after the students who want to go to med school.
Yeah, so he probably would want to go after, I mean, the list it starts pretty big when you go B2C, right? There's a much larger
Yes, that is a different use case. Yeah.
You probably want to start at like maybe at a university level or something like that. You could do a search, based on that, like a sort of LinkedIn search, and then you would use that information to then sort of enrich the profiles, and then probably in Clay, I think you can grab the posts off of the profile, And you could probably look to see if they're talking about taking any of the courses that you probably could help. It would be a little bit of a wider audience, but you probably don't need that many, right, to make it worth it. And then, you'd have a higher quality lead. Even if you just, on a B2C play, even if you just connected to the person or viewed their profile, you probably would get the engagement you needed for reducing your ads quite a bit. Just to literally just nudge the profile, you'd probably get, if you're obvious, right?
You can probably also use signals inside of Clay to track, to monitor social listening. So highly doubt there's too many kids on the LinkedIn studying for MCAT, but they're probably on their threads and their X's and Twitters and Reddits talking in those forums, and you can use Clay to track those signals. And anytime they mention the word, like, I'm studying for XYZ exam.
I do know AP they use Reddit a lot. He's always mentioning Reddit and things going on Reddit. So there you go, AP. You can do some social listening on Reddit.
The other one would be Reddit, but there'd also be the other one is they have some good, some solid. I haven't really tried all of them, but the influencer databases that they have in here, there's a few data providers that they have that do they do influencer. They have, so you could find influencers who are possibly in that category. Would be another one.
Oh, nice, sweet. I know that King of the Curve, that company too. They also are. I think their biggest channel, correct me if I'm wrong, AP, is TikTok. Anything you guys do with TikTok?
I think they have Modash has some, and there's a lot. Yeah,
I was gonna say you might want to do an influencer reach on that one.
There you go. Absolutely.
Influencer reach would be your best play. It would probably not be the person; it'd be the influencer reach is the best one for you.
Yep. Reddit,
getting the
TikTok.
creators' emails, going in and getting the creators' emails, their phone numbers, and really all you need is that one or two that can talk to that many people, right? You can kind of go source, that. And I think the creativity there, that's a wide open space, AP. I mean, you could go drive a truck through that one. I mean, because think about it. None of your competitors are probably reaching out to these people at this like precision, right? They might do a lot of mass or like advertising, but if you were looking for, influencer waterfall here, you could just throw in the Modash, Upfluence, or Influencer Club, get the YouTube links going, get the Twitter or Insta Threads, Reddit stuff going, and start reaching out. I mean, that right there could, even just one influencer could probably drive thousands of signups for B2C play.
I love it. And I'm guessing it could probably even help. I know that he does like investor outreach. So like, there you go. You have some more like
that's a really big one. That's an easier one because a lot of money has there's a lot of government SEC stuff out there. You can take also a lot of public records. So you could use there's a lot in the platform. I mean, there's some magic in there, right? Like, not LeadMagic, but like, there's definitely some the people who know Clay. There's definitely another level of people on Clay that, and you probably know who I'm talking about, Dorothy. There's a group, and if you know, really, and that group knows, and the ones that are doing it. There's a lot. There's a lot.
It's like the Clay click.
Oh yeah, there's a big group.
Interesting.
There's a big group. There's a very, very big, I'd say Kellen sort of has a pretty good pulse on that group. Jordan Crawford is another guy that I would say is kind of in that. I mean, Eric seems like he's like the Will Ferrell godfather of that one, like in the movie, whatever that movie is called. That's what
I hope he's listening. Someone tag Eric, please. Okay. We have to get into vibe coding. So like, first of all, someone's already asked, what is vibe coding? So I'm going to invite everybody to go and open up ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what vibe coding is. And we're going to get into it right after this.
This is Mike, also known as Clean with Mike on Twitter. Mike hired a virtual assistant from Cherry Assistant about 2 years ago. Now he has a $50K per month business fully managed by a remote operator in South Africa. His VA from South Africa does the following: closing inbound leads on the phone, Yelp, and Google and Facebook, manages his CRM and Go High Level, deals with rescheduling, cancellations, any issues, hires and manages the cleaners, and sends them daily reports and updates. Mike has a fully cash flowing business managed by a remote operator for only $8 an hour. You can also hire a US equivalent worker in the Philippines, South Africa, Latin America for a fraction of the cost with Cherry Assistant. Be like Mike and grow your business with offshore staff.
Yes, be like Mike. So if you're on podcast and you are not seeing the screen right now, we're showing a menu of services that you can get with Cherry Assistant. There's lead generation, CRM management, prospecting assistance, sales presentation preparation, data entry and cleanup, customer support, project management assistance, and so much more. You're going to want to head over to cherryassistant.com to check it out. But also, quick plug for High Level. I always ask the guests, like, do you use High Level? I'm going to guess both of you don't. But Jessie, I know you know of High Level. And Dorothy, anything you can share with us about High Level in terms of like anyone you know who's using Zapier to integrate High Level with Clay or any of those use cases. I don't know. We'll start with you, Jessie. So like, I remember when I first started with High Level, I was a sub account on someone else's agency, right? And you were like, no, Jessie, you got to go be your own agency. And I was like, oh, damn it, Jessie. Okay. So then I went like opened up my own account and I'm so glad I did. But clearly, you knew what it was and you're familiar with it. Like,
oh yeah.
Tell me your thoughts on High Level.
Yeah, it's a great product and they serve an audience very well. I mean, they serve the agency world really well. If you're thinking about either going out on your own, coaching, or like an agency, what's really nice about it is they've made it so it's a lot easier for you to build sort of a monthly recurring business model, which is a nice model for agencies. And they've really helped people build more productized services. And what I mean by that is a service that, as you know, in an agency, it becomes hard to hire the sort of experts that drive like that get like your products delivered. So what Go High Level can easily do, right, is it's a CRM essentially, but your users come in, they're going to see all of that data. You can set it all up, whatever. And I think what's good about High Level is they let you keep it very much about your agency. You can white label it, and then you can put there's additional sort of SaaS plays you can put in it, and you can charge a monthly. You can use Stripe. You can use all of their, and they're just growing on that side, and they're adding all kinds of things. It's very fast to iterate these agency plays with it, and it's really cool technology. So it's come a long way too. It's a big ecosystem. There's a lot of consulting companies that do it. So if you need help setting it up, there's a lot, and they've done a really good job. It's a really nice product.
I'm on mute again. I'm saying we're doing it. It's become like one of the fastest growing parts of our business is just like building freaking lead magnets for people. Everyone wants a lead magnet and they want an automation, and High Level is so easy with that. Plus, like, when you sign up with High Level, you get 3 accounts. So it's $97 and you get 3 accounts. And it's just not like you can't find another tool that is budget friendly like that. I mean, there are a couple out there, but then they'll have like credits or some sort of like, anyway, I digress because we're going to get into vibe coding. And so vibe coding, we're asking, what is vibe coding? And someone already put into the comments what it is. So thank you, Greg. He says, it's where AI codes something for you. And also you just kind of vibe and you go with the flow, right, Jessie? How would you define vibe coding, Jessie?
You could see, am I still sharing?
Yeah, let me pull that up. Oh, wait. There it is.
So basically I was vibe coding here while you were talking. Sorry, it's a really rude thing, but while we were talking, basically what it is like, I'm just showing it in Lovable because it's sort of a good place to start if you're thinking about a vibe journey. If you want to build your own sort of product, I kind of thought, hey, what's a product that Jessie could build for her marketing agency that would allow, her to get out there to do whatever. So I'm thinking like an Opus Clip repurpose type app probably is the play to be able to do some sort of
Yep. Do a lot of video
you know what I'm
clips.
talking about. That would be
Yep.
that's yours probably. And if you take your model on it, like Opus Clip kind of thing, you know, like one like this,
Yeah.
basically. This is like
Totally.
what you could do really well with, right? You know, with your brand
Yeah.
and everything.
Like have my
So-
style in there.
Yeah, exactly. And you could vibe that out in Lovable pretty quickly, right? It's got all of the capabilities. What's really changed is the AI. Now, what they're doing, the no code platforms sort of lock your code in, right? And that's a little bit of a problem, right? Because you can't really get it out. You have to stay with that platform provider. What Vibe does is it allows you to really get the code out, but what you need, the receipt, is actually your GitHub. So you need the GitHub repo, basically. And if you're
Okay.
vibing, you know, you're sitting here like building this, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, while you're building it, you're just, you know, you're looking at what you want to build. You could put in, like, I just built an app now that you could, maybe I get 3 streams a month, 1 click. Here's what you sell. You come into the page. Now, maybe what I want to do is build a landing page for this first, you know, and then it's going to just keep building while you're doing it. And like people, when I tell them to go do this, they're like, no, it's still technical because they're used to the no code stuff, right? And the no code stuff.
Well, yeah,
you
I
still
like
need to
no
know.
code. I'm not gonna lie. Don't hate me. I do. But anyway, I'm curious. So you've already said so far you need AI. So like which AI are you using? ChatGPT.
I'm just
Also,
using
then you
Lovable.
need
This is
Lovable.
Lovable.
Oh,
has
so
a
Lovable
package
will do it
version.
for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then what else did you need? You need GitHub.
So GitHub
And
would allow you to connect. It's very easy to do. They have it integrated. You really don't even need that. I mean, you don't even need to put it in GitHub, but they allow you to basically put it into Lovable and you get it on your own domain. I just launched this
boom.
SaaS product. Boom, done, right?
Boom.
And
I love it. How is that not no code?
No, I know. That's why
I
no
wanna
code
be
is dead
code.
because, like, you know, and I built this for you. Now we'd have to be careful here. I know LinkedIn wouldn't like this, but which we wouldn't do, right? LinkedIn knows that. I'm friends with them. You know, we don't have to go crazy here,
Yeah,
but we wouldn't
basically.
put their stuff all over there. But basically, what you do is you're looking at this. You'd want to understand what you're doing here. Then you're like, this would be sort of that. Maybe you're doing a prompt pack, whatever. And you know, you are basically just adding on what you could do. And this thing can do a full serverless edge function. Like it does advanced development. Like this isn't amateur. There are some things you want to look at from a security perspective before you hit launch, but even that's getting better, right? Like I'm telling you, these platforms, I've been using them since like the day they started. And I'm even in some of the beta programs and testing them. They're getting to the point where they're really good. And it's, you know, LeadMagic's features acceleration with a very small team. If you go look and see what we're putting out for code, it's like insane,
Are
right?
you using Lovable?
No, I'm not using Lovable. We will share. I'm using a lot of Cursor because it's actually like real. It's like you could take Lovable though and put it into Cursor if you wanted to. You could just sync it up here.
The other one, wasn't there one? You were telling me about this one time, and I went and I set something up in one of these apps. I can't remember.
Lovable's the one I would steer
I
people
thought it started
towards.
with like a B or something. It was a different one. Maybe not.
There's a couple. I mean, there's Bolt, which is also very good.
Bolt, that was it.
Bolt
Yes.
is another one. Probably for beginners, though. I think my Bolt has actually gotten better. I mean, I can't say it's probably Bolt or Lovable. Those are the two.
Yeah, you told me about both of those, and I started in Bolt, and it was a little hard, but I got it set up. I didn't do too much in it.
Try it now because it's gotten a lot easier. Like it is
I think
on
I'll go to
another
Lovable.
level.
Maybe I'll go to
Try
Lovable.
Lovable.
Bolt exhausted me, and then I didn't even try Lovable. But
I would say
also,
they've
like, I'm
all
not trying
come
to build
so
an app right
far.
now. I'm really
What's that?
I'm really deep into the agency stuff right now, and like trying to, like, the live streaming as a service is a hit. People want their podcast right now, and so it's like, you're going to record a podcast. Why do record in secret? You might as well go live. So it's just like really appealing. So I don't know. I just haven't gotten back into the SaaS app thing yet. Besides,
what you could do is
app.revenue.com.
service and a repurpose, and that would be the whole app, and you could sell that at like a certain number of per month. And remember, your costs are nothing really, right?
The repurpose?
Like, what's that?
You said the repurpose, like the video clip repurpose?
Yeah, like to get the transcript and the repurpose video generated, there's now in the AI could handle that pretty easily. So you could build, I mean, there's probably a little bit of work here, but not much, right? And you could integrate it with Supabase, which is a database that's right in the platform. And you could invite, find somebody on, if you got like into a real bind, you find somebody on Upwork who knows how to use Lovable and invite them. And then you could launch your own SaaS product tomorrow.
How can you turn this into like a mobile app? Because I have an idea.
There is a good one. There, A0.dev. This one's good.
Sweet.
And Bolt is really good for mobiles now. Bolt is very good for mobile apps. Bolt has come. I'm trying like all of it. Like I'm a little. It's probably an obsession. I'm sort of admitting it here on this show. This is a very scary moment.
I'm just remembering when I started playing with Bolt. Didn't I have to connect it with Supabase? Or
Supabase, yeah.
Supabase
you want to, because if you do that,
yeah,
you have.
Maybe I did.
Yeah.
Once you mentioned
it's quite powerful if you can do that. You can. It's basically like you can run like background jobs, which is like transcript generation and repurposing videos, all of that stuff. If you have that running in Supabase becomes a powerful platform for and that's the database. And it also handles authentication, which you need if you want to make Stripe Wi-Fi money.
Stripe Wi-Fi money.
Stripe Wi-Fi.
While you sleep. Oh, all right. All right. So vibe coding. Keep talking to us about vibe coding. So how have you vibe coded LeadMagic? And we've got Dorothy here. And so she was asking about AO. So what was that thing that you brought up?
A0.
A0.
A0 is another one. Yeah. This one is sort of like Bolt, but they kind of mimic the name of V0, which is another good one. All of these are good. But what I usually do,
your screen just a bit, if we're being asked,
what's that?
Can you zoom in on your screen a bit?
Did you vibe code the whole Clay workflow landing page?
The new one, the new one that have you seen it?
Yeah, I feel like it's
no. This one. You're talking about this one?
Is it that one? No, it's the one that goes along with the cheat sheet.
Oh, that one. That was all vibe. Yeah, that's 100% vibes.
Yes, I was like, it has that feel to it.
Oh, it's total vibes. Yep.
Speaking of vibes, I think I'm getting drunk just from these fumes. Oh my God.
But if you want to build an app on the phone, you could use this. And if you want, I was building, what did I build in here? A chatbot. So if you were building, I would, then you connect Supabase, you connect Stripe, and then you take Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LeadMagic here.
How do you know it's not Supabase? Like Sup?
Well, they've raised quite a bit of money, and I've seen their ads.
Oh.
They're
that whiskey is
I didn't know that.
Hard, Jesse.
Oh, they're killing it. Yeah, they're awesome. I'm spending like a lot of money with them now too, because like it's getting more expensive.
They're like a big thing.
Not for them. I'm sure there's people spending a lot more, but like it's pretty crazy that it's like you could set yourself up with like free yourself up with the DevOps.
Yeah, I definitely spent an afternoon going down the weeds with Bolt and Supabase after you told me about them one time.
Oh yeah. And if you could, if you start with the front end first, that's the way I would say is start with the front end, right? Like it'll probably try to get you to connect to the back end. The part you're going to need the back end, which is Supabase, right? Supabase is their database and authentication. And then if you want to do any sort of like functions, like you want to like API, like if you want to build your own API, you would use Supabase.
Okay.
So
tell me more about A0. Why were you asking about that, Dorothy?
Oh, well, actually, mobile apps. I wanted to build a mobile app specifically for date night ideas.
You could easily do. That's a great. I would do that. Yeah, that's a good one. That'll work.
You know how like couples are always like, share your Instagram, or let me text you this link and right?
You vibe that out in probably an afternoon if you had a couple of, you might need a couple of whiskeys to get through it, but not really. But you could, and you would upload that to the App Store, both the Android and the Apple. I vibed out a Clay extension the other day.
Nice. Tell me more.
A Chrome extension that works with Clay. It just sort of downloads the table, then it tells you how
is
to build.
LinkedIn going to shut you down because you have a Chrome extension now?
Not for LinkedIn, for Clay.
I know, but just having a Chrome extension is dangerous.
No, I have a lot. I mean, I use a lot of Chrome extensions. I just don't use any of them. None of the ones that I have interact with LinkedIn, because that would be, they're very very, very, very strict there. You got to be very careful if you're integrating with LinkedIn. They don't
But I've
have
heard
any.
like even Grammarly can like get you, like Grammarly will cause issues with LinkedIn.
Yeah, they don't want They don't want anyone in there because they
Yeah.
you know, you got to get approved by LinkedIn. Does want their stuff approved.
Yeah. Okay, I digress. So you have a Chrome extension. You vibed it out. What does it do?
You vibe it out. You know, you see how it looks, and then you know, if you really like the project, you send it out. Meanbot, you know, you just, you know, if I vibed out Meanbot.
I love the
I'll
Meanbot.
do mine. Right?
Oh my God, mine was so bad.
Mine is horrible. It's always bad because that's what I did in the prompt. I had to be careful though, because you don't want it to do anything like that's going to get you canceled or something on the internet. But this one does a little bit of an analysis on like what you're doing on Meanbot's on Google. He reads Google occasionally, and he'll, you know, legally look at some of the SERP words. Basically, it says growth AI, or as I like to call it, chief buzzword juggler at corporate speak circus. Jesse's headline promise rocket fueled expertise, but lands somewhere between a TED Talk and a late night infomercial. If overused jargon were a SaaS product, Jesse would have IPO'd yesterday. Wow. 45,000 followers. It tells you broadcasting to ghosts. Wow, that's kind of Meanbot. Career timeline reads part-time advisor, founder glam, founder less than 3 years. Is a consultant tourism disguised as a resume. Ooh, just, you know, you got to look at this guy's mean, but claiming Clay is a creator. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. Anyways, you can read your own. I'm a little bit shy about mine, but it's right on the screen if you want to read it. If you can see it.
Vibe this out. This is a vibe code lovable.
Yeah, you vibe out. You just go into, like, you build a prompt that tells this what to do, and then you start making API calls with Supabase and storing the data and start to build your own little empire. And, you know, you can build, you know, if you want to add like like what you can do here is when you're on the free plan and you hit the stream split page and enter a URL, pop up a sign up or pop up a place to capture email, right? And you could just vibe that out and the vibes come through, and, you know, you could just keep going with it, and you could build whatever you want, right? Like I built like a calendar for my wife and I, you know, we use it, right? We're looking for houses right now. I vibed out I don't really like Zillow. I vibed out one that's much better than Zillow for myself. I don't want to get sued, but it's much better than Zillow. And it's just my wife and I. Please don't sue us. We're not going to have any legal representation.
I love that. So you can like look for specifically what you want.
Yeah, so I made it a little bit better. It has some alerts and hooks, and I don't have to deal with all the ads and all. I mean, I know this is probably, I got to be careful here. My lawyers are going to hate this show again, but you know how it is, right? Like you need to, and then I have it alerting me now, right? Texting me, hey, here's the house you want. You know, like It's all about finding the dream house. Yeah. So here, we'll do it here. If you type in something here, watch this.
All right. Vibe it out.
You got to vibe it out here.
Live, YouTube, or Twitch stream URL.
Okay, it didn't pop up here, so you got to kind of. Yeah, I think I got to have a stream link. What's this? I don't know what the stream URL is for.
Wait, you want the stream URL for this?
Let me go to Twitch here and just figure out what it is. For one of them, that's easy. There you go. It would be that. So, okay, there you go. So now you see what I did there? I just boom, right? So boom. I'd want to put that in, and I'd want to get my stream URL. Now, if I want to unlock it, I got to get my email. It puts it in the database, unlock. Here's maybe what it does. Now let's repurpose it. What do I want? I want to get 10 AI clips. Let's go, ready to export. Boom. Now you can export it, and maybe you paywall them right here. I don't know. You're a SaaS founder now. Let's do it.
Boom. Is it going to happen?
back.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting.
I just did it. Yeah. So I just did that and it scheduled it. And now it's going to say, we're going to email you. It's been queued and,
Oh,
you know, and then if
okay.
you're on this plan, you could tell them to upgrade. I mean, it's really a choose your own adventure story, right? Like every single
I
thing
love
is
that.
fine. Yeah. Look, you could
So
build
you
this
were
like,
talking well, sorry. No, I was curious. Dorothy was talking about a mobile app. What kind of mobile app, Dorothy?
Oh, it was the date night idea one.
Oh, the date night. That's right. Date night.
Yeah.
okay, let's
So-
vibe it out real quick here. Hold on. We'll go.
Yeah, let's
we'll
go
vibe
to
it.
date night.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
It's like whether you like save a post on like Instagram, share it with your significant other, send an email, that kind of concept.
So what I'm going to do, so if I had I have pretty much every one of these tools except for this one, but I will, let me do this. So if you had the premium version, you would do the thinking first, because the first step is a thinking step. Build out a date night app, which is targeted for UGC and resharing on other social media platforms, allow the user to add their friends from Instagram, and also make sure you have a city-based top restaurants, trendy new type places. Okay, let's just do that. Like what I usually do just to make it better is I'll go into like O3 or something like that, like one of the learning models, and I'll map out the like exactly what I want, and then it confirms it, right? Like if you want to make any changes, like a friend screen, a restaurant screen, city picker, you would do that, and then you would vibe that out, and then you'd
Vibe
say
it
like,
out.
yeah, you just continue.
continue.
And that's the first screen.
though?
Let's go. Let's get
That's
up.
the only
Let's-
downfall. Like I don't want
What's
to
up?
type. I just want to talk into it.
You can. No, you could definitely you use Whisper for that. Whisper.
yeah.
Super
Okay.
Whisper. I bought that too. I have that one. This is super
Nice.
super Whisper. This one.
Super whisper. It's
You
not
got to use
Super
Super Whisper. I answer my emails with it. I don't read it. AI is answering all of my emails. I don't read a single one now.
Ooh,
I don't do
that's
any.
pretty cool.
I don't email people
AI
back
sends
now.
your emails. AI answers your emails.
Yep. The only time I do is if somebody's like, you missed something of mine that's important. Usually it's a lawyer or somebody, a legal or an accountant.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll log into Cursor and read it out of the command line.
Nice.
I read it on the command line now. I don't want to deal with any visual stoppage. You know, I want to get the answer faster, so I don't have to wait.
That's awesome. So
And we're gonna deploy it.
we're just like in a waiting point right now.
Yeah, it's
no-
building right now. We're gonna accept all the changes, and we're gonna vibe this out right now. This is vibe coding at its finest.
Vibing. I feel like we need some
You should
vibing
call these
music.
companies too. They need some help marketing, and I'm sure they'd be good sponsors for your show. But
Seriously.
Lovable,
Yeah.
Bolt.
They're getting all this attention. What's up,
Bolt has
David?
a
What's
huge-
up, AP? We've got Greg here. Justin.
yeah.
Control space will bring up Apple's microphone so you can talk to the computer. Oh, anytime. Nice.
There you go.
Good to know.
Vibes. I like another
Vibe it out.
Viber.
Yep, we've got some Vibers here. A voice
gotta
to
be
text Viber.
Let's see.
Oh,
here.
is it going to show us?
So,
It's like,
we still have a bug.
Vibe time.
It's vibing. We have a small
I'm
bug.
vibing.
That's
Okay,
hitting hard.
so what can we just do like a refresh or
It got it. It figured it out.
because I mean
So
I know
the
we're
AI will always. What's that?
I know we're sitting here coding really hard.
I know it's fun though to watch. I mean, you could actually probably do a stream like this. I mean, we could just do a vibe hour where we just vibe. Somebody
Vibe it
says
out.
something, you vibe it out
Yeah.
in the audience. It takes a lot of different paths, right? There
Like-
you go. We're coming. Oh, we're loading. The friend screen is coming out.
Who in the audience has an idea? Like drop it in the comments. Like who knows? Maybe it's your lucky
Yeah.
day.
Yep.
All right. So how did we end up with red and white? Download app. Boom.
It's loading right now. It's vibing. It has to apply the changes. It's, you know, it's not as the mobile one is a little bit, you know, you had to pick the hardest one, of course, Jesse, but like
I know.
we pretty much built 2 SaaS products here, you know. We got MeanBot, we got vibing the hell out of this thing. Oh, there we go. Awesome. So we got let's see if we got the version right here. Okay, great. Let's look at the preview. Maybe a reload here. Oh, we're still blocked. It's I think I should have started a new app was the problem.
Maybe.
Build.
What AI do you use to answer your emails?
So I'm using so to answer my emails, to answer them, I'm using Inbox Zero. To answer them, I'm using Inbox Zero. And then I use the MCP when I want to use it from the console and cursor. So like a lot of the times I don't even want to go into the, you know, I don't want to go into Gmail. I'm sort of sick of I hate looking at like unread or it's like overwhelming. So I just have cursor just spit out the answer every time. Like if there's no way to get into it in cursor, I probably don't log in anymore. Like I don't log into any apps anymore at all. Like no CRMs. Why would I need that stuff? That stuff's old. It's like
really?
It's old. Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff really. I mean, Go High Level I would use the Go High Level APIs probably to interact with it. That's just me. I'm weird.
Yeah, no, all good. I mean, technology is working for you if you don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's working.
So like,
I mean,
how do we vibe code and Clay at the same time? Like, how could we get creative with that?
I think you could definitely get vibe. I mean, I vibe coded with Clay, and I became their top partner, one of their top partners. Like
There
that's
you
how
go. So you went into Suppa Base or Lovable, and you were like, I want to be the best data provider, and it walked you through it, and here you are.
We hired a bunch of Ivy League graduates to do research to find all the data, of course, just like any smart person would.
Oh yeah,
and we vibe.
And then you go vibing. Nice.
Yeah, we vibe it out.
And then
let's see. There's a couple of errors that I'm hitting here. It's you had to pick the. Here we go. Okay, that's
this reminds me. It reminds me of when LeadMagic acquired DataGhost. That was major.
It went down as one of the biggest moments ever because, like, you know, we've had a journey. I mean, on this first been in business about 16 months. You know, we've got almost 1,200 customers now, subscribers now, right? So, here we go. We've loading
got a
now.
Question.
Go for it.
So, question, Jessie O, can you tell us more about your lifestyle around no more logins and how you integrate Clay with vibe coding?
So how do I integrate? So a lot of the time, so I actually do go in Clay. I have my own kind of Clay. It's like I use my own sort of Clay. Like I just because I'm totally different. Like I don't, and I like products that I don't have to actually support, like ones that work for me but nobody else. Like I like those because whatever, it works. So what I do is I'll go into Clay, use their, like if there's a provider in there that I really want to use and I don't want to go map out their API, but for me, Clay was like a good level of like understanding the APIs, but then eventually, like, you know, you get really deep in the code and you're probably not as, you know, I'd say it's really good for a GTM, really good for that. But when you're on like, you know, when you're, you know, there is a level of where, you know, you sort of go to another place, of course, and you might be a provider at that point, right? For Clay.
Yeah, I think the question always is like, do I want to build this myself or do I buy a tool that already does it?
Yeah.
Right.
I build everything now, but that's totally me. I would not advise that because when it breaks, it's annoying because you have to take like a 2-3 hour day at it, you know, to test it. Like like we're using our own CRM. We have our own, every single thing we have. We don't have any apps in the company. Like nobody uses any,
You
like there's no
built your
staff.
own CRM?
Yeah, every single thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't need any of the. I do have HubSpot though on the back end.
I thought you guys had HubSpot. So
no, we do have HubSpot on the back end, but everything else, the reporting, I just got rid of ChartMogul, and it's weird. It doesn't have any. I need something with a chatbot. Like it needs to have a chatbot embedded in it, or it's not really useful. We're launching ours, agents and stuff, in LeadMagic pretty soon. We're gonna have that in there, but that'll have all the chatbot stuff you need to. And you know, you want to vibe out, you can vibe out.
Vibe it out. There you go. So
and I mean, it's probably here. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into Bolt and do it here, and it's a mobile app, and we're gonna do a little bit better job. There's a problem. A0 is hitting a bug. Might be because I'm on there for. I haven't really done a lot with mobile, admittedly, but I have with Bolt. So we will get something out of this. The best part too is when you burn the credits right down to zero and spend a bunch of money. It's great because you're having fun. And it's just, you feel better about yourself.
You're just
like
vibing it out.
Yeah, we vibe. And look, it's doing this. This is what it's thinking about. Create a mobile app. Okay, I know I got to use Expo router. By the way, this is what you would do if you were an engineer, right? You would come up with the same file structure. This is exactly what top engineers would do, right?
Oh my gosh.
So you would do that. Now you're vibing hard, right? Now you're like, okay, what's going to show up on the screen? Is it MeanBot or is it a date night app? I don't know, right? You're in the very transition time here, right?
Can we make them one and the same?
Yeah, MeanBot would be a great date. I think he'd probably insult you in the first 5 minutes and you leave, but he's tough. He's a tough cookie. He's probably for sale. We're going to sell him.
It's like how to break up with your Hinge date.
Yeah, exactly. So right here, it's doing it, right? Mock venues, it's putting it all in there, right? So we do that. And you could probably access, there's some APIs. I think even Yelp, you can get a legitimate API key to Yelp or any of the other ones, or there's other ways to do it around, like, you hire a robot or you hire a person to go watch the screen of a public website. Because all public websites are sort of in public as long as you're not logged.
Hire a robot? That's interesting.
I think if you do it through your browser, right? Like your browser, you could possibly watch the screen and update all of the spots. You just have to make sure it's not automated, because that's like the big problem. If you automate, you've got to be on a different, you're sort of violating possibly, you just have to be careful what you do. And there's also companies that sell like local restaurant data that you could put in, do that. And there's a lot of different places that are catering towards developers, right? That's sort of make an API that allows you to pull. I mean, if you're using Clay, you probably know about Appify, right? Like Appify has a bunch of ways to go get all of that information. You would just put that into your Supabase up here, and you'd have Stripe for payments or whatever, and we're going to vibe this out. It should work this time because we're not on the free plan. We're on the.
I love it. And I see Dorothy's comment that she can't stick around much longer.
Yeah.
And I know we're vibing, but Dorothy, before we go, I really want to find out both of your gurus of the week. So who is someone that, like, you all just spent the last hour inspiring us? Who on LinkedIn can diversify our feed? And like, who inspires you? Dorothy?
Actually, I think I would give a shout out to my coworker, Ashley Artrip. She has been on a tear. She came, no sales background. She came straight into Clay, became like a hardcore GTME. Now she's doing the AI Roadshow with G2, closing some of her biggest deals. And she talks a lot about like creating dynamic lists, signals, and intent. So
love that. Thank you for sharing. We'll try to tag her in the comments. Layla, I don't know if you got her name, but like, what's her last name?
Artrip, ARTRIP.
All right, everyone, go follow that person. Thank you so much. And before you go, Dorothy, like, I don't know when you have to go, but before you go, make sure you let us know, how can people reach out to you if they want to reach out to you after the show?
Yeah, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out to me there.
Sweet.
I'll drop it in the chat somewhere.
All right. Well, let's go back into some screen sharing. So, like, you're building over here, Jessie. Like, catch us up. What's happening?
Yeah, so we're close to getting the first output here. I think you're going to be very surprised. And Dorothy, I'll send you the link too if you have to leave. No problem at all. And I know where to find it too. But my inspiration, I think I have to go with Varun. Over there. I think he's just. I met with him a couple of weeks ago in New York, and other than the fact that I had to wear lipstick at the magic show that we went to, it was, and it's not that was a big deal, but it was just a magic show. If you got
you
over
wore
it.
lipstick?
A little bit, yeah. It was like a little bit
Wow.
awkward because I resisted at first because of the reason why. It was a magic show though that the magician likes to it was like a partner event. It was kind of funny, but
Uh-huh,
anyway,
sure.
Varun sort of set it up so that was there, and I love the guy and everything he's done, and I think it's Clay. Like they even had a tender round recently, which I thought was a pretty good thing to do for the employees, and they're just everybody that I've talked to really likes working there, and it's the best thing I could say, really. Varun.
Nice. I love it. Varun.
And the vibe should be out here. And Dorothy, if you want the surprise too, I'll make sure to, if she already left that, but I'll make sure to send this your way, and you can. Here it is. Ready?
Is it actually happening?
Can we scan this?
I'll wait for this.
I forgot about that. You're gonna have to scan it with Expo.
Oh, I can't just scan it.
Yeah. You're gonna have to scan with Expo.
Night spot. Fancy.
Oh my god, I've had like 2 sips of whiskey.
Oh, here it is. You can do it. You can see it in here. This is fine. So let's just do, okay. So we've done it. We've vibed this out. This is an official vibe here this is the first Whiskey Wednesday. So there's a couple of little small things, but this would be, the start of something amazing, right? You could trending spots, see all, right?
Look at that.
Look at that, right? And you could say,
damn.
If you want to get it on your phone, you can go get it on your phone with that QR code. But this is what it looks like from a vibe perspective in a web app. You have to build
Show
for
me
the
the vibes.
So imagine this was a mobile app. You can get that QR code before, but if you wanted to build that, right, it's better to look at it here, I think. Do you see this?
Yeah.
This would be the app, right?
I
on
see
your
it.
iPhone.
I think my internet cut out for a second.
Okay. Yeah. So this would be the app. And if you're like, all right, I'm looking now, I want to go share. And you could say you could maybe make a UGC factor where, obviously everybody wants a like or a heart. And, you could do that. And then you can explore or you can create. And you could say, I want to do. So we just vibed this out. This took no time at all, right? Like everybody watched me do it live here and stop my password manager.
Yeah.
Date night.
Vibe.
Maybe I want to vibe out. I want to go let's put the Secret Garden as the restaurant. I don't know where that's a fake one, but you could add another one and then you could create a date story or you could share it to Instagram. That's what you could do. Add photos.
Oh, there you go.
We're in. We just vibed this out in like an hour and you could certainly.
Maybe you could send a private text to your wife.
Yep.
This is where we're going.
That. Yep. That's exactly right, Dorothy. This is it. And you could see how many followers people have and build your own little vibey, and that's it. This would ship. You could ship this tomorrow if you really wanted to, and you could deploy it to the App Store and go through the process of the App Store.
How do you adjust the UI? Do you just
over here? So if you're like, make it more responsive and put more UGC features and I won't say login screen yet because if I do login, it's going to maybe connected to Supabase. So the second you got to do login, you got to have a database behind it just because of the authentication. But the code's right here. This is real code. This isn't no code where it's like behind some dark curtain there, right? This is real, and you give this to a developer. They're going to know it's vibed a little bit. Some of it, maybe they won't, depending on what you put in for the input. But you now have the full vibe right here. And I don't know if there's ever been a time or a place where you could do this and get this type of distribution in anything in life. Think about marketing now. It's not a lot different, right? People are making content marketing, and it's this is content marketing right now, right? This is a much better play than what people are doing now. They're wasting a lot of time building stuff that is.
If it bugs out and glitches, would you also come back to this to?
Yeah, it's a chatbot. It's just this screen on the left. You just keep typing until your fingers stop hurting, and you could pick everything. You could be and then you could even and then you could give it the API that you want to use. And you could tell it where to get the data from. That's the vibey moment where now you've got a back end, a front end, then you could add on like grab their cookie, grab their, like you could do whatever you want, right? This is a full application, full blown ship it tomorrow kind of thing, paywall it and make some Bluetooth Wi-Fi money. Like the SaaS kids are doing. The only calls they want to make now are API calls. That's what I hear.
Darn
Somebody
SaaS
knows.
kids. Oh my
The SaaS
gosh.
kids, they want to make a lot of these calls and they want to do API calls now. A lot of them don't really like to do real calls anymore, which, hey, I don't either. I'm not making any cold calls over here. I don't have anything against it. I actually am not like the Adios CRM guy, the guy that doesn't like cold callers there or whatever. But I will tell you right now, like the new gen, they want to make API calls. They're not looking for you on the, just the way life is.
They want to attend live streams and just like, hang out and vibe.
Vibes. Yeah. And that's what
Vibes.
this is. Privacy. Do I want to make it public? Do I want to go create some drama and put public that I'm with, a bunch of people and having fun, vibing out? Or do I want to keep this very private and send it directly to do I want to create a story on it? That's great, right? And you put the notification. Some of you are unfortunate and have a Pixel, which my brother works there, so I won't attack the company that hard, but that's the Pixel. And now if I want to heart it, that's great. I didn't get a like from John.
As in like the phone?
The phone, yeah. So if you want to see the Galaxy version of it, that's what it looks like on the Galaxy, and that's what it looks like on the Pixel, and that's what it looks like on the iPhone.
Oh, I used to have a Pixel back in the day. I didn't even know people still use
Sorry about
those.
that. Green tech. No, thank you. All set. But yeah, this is the vibe. And then if you want to deploy it, it's all you. It's really just you got to go deploy it. You put it out there, and people find things in the weird spots. And if you become the expert and the viber of all date night apps and tell a great story,
So really, Jessie, what you're saying is it just comes down to a strong personal brand.
It comes back to that again. And then I'll tell you what you want to do. Ditch the brand eventually, because then it makes yourself harder to acquire. You need it at first, but then you want to ditch it as fast as possible.
Like lean into a company brand? Is that what you're saying?
This might be unpopular. Sorry, I don't know if you want to. You want to be careful, because if you get too tied to your brand, you'll learn that
brand.
Your company.
Yes, the long term, you do want to think about that. It's true.
But later, like nobody here probably has that problem. Let's
also like I am a very big proponent of live streaming, as you know. And if you're going to live stream on LinkedIn, you should live stream from your company page so that you can gate it.
There you go.
So you can't live stream from a personal page. There's benefits of having a company page, and you absolutely should be building out your company page. But how's your company page doing, Jessie? Like
log into the app right here.
What was that?
Log into the app right here. I mean, I'm telling you, like if you want that Night Spot app, we will ship this app. We could take pictures. It does picture everything.
I think Danny Golf wants to see it. I think, all these people in the comments, they want it. Can we get a link to it? Is there like a share link?
Yeah, there's a link. Here, I'll deploy it right now.
Boom.
Boom. Deploy. Well, we have to do this. We're adding features and functionality. We're gonna probably ship this tonight, and then we can hand over.
How do we put your rap song on it so when they download it, they can hear your rap song?
I might have to show that one. Maybe I'll show that one next time I come on and vibe code for an hour.
Dang, I was really hoping you were gonna share what's the rap song about?
You want me to do it? All right, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah,
load it up.
Yeah. Really do.
I'm going to play the first 5 seconds of it. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. I hope you can hear it, but you ready?
Ready.
Can you hear that?
Nope.
No.
Okay, hold on. I knew you were going to ask something like that. It's so... Hold on. I might have to just change the audio. Let's see. All right, here we go. And the audio is got it. Okay. Can you hear me?
There it goes.
Okay. All right, let me try. You can't hear that, can you?
No.
Okay.
Boo.
Hold on. I
Maybe
have
next
it. I have
time.
it. I just have to do
All
it
right.
here.
All right.
It's coming here. Okay. Let's see.
I'm guessing it's like an AI version of you rapping. Something
No,
about
it's not. It's pretty good actually. It's amazing how good you could be when you just prompt it. I mean, okay, you ready?
we're ready.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. LeadMagic back. On time for the week. 4-day excuses. That's lazy niggas see. Can you?
Could you hear that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe next time we'll share it or whatever.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that-
You're gonna have to share it.
I have it. No, I haven't, but
Exactly.
I'll send it to you and you can tell me. You can play it on the next show if you want.
Sounds good.
But anyways, that's it. That's a wrap.
I love it. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for vibe coding. Dorothy, thank you so much for coming in, talking about Clay with us. I think that's pretty much all we have. I mean, this is like a special episode, so I'm not going to do all the like regular wrap up stuff for next week because really we're not coming back until June. But I guess June is just right around the corner, isn't it?
It is. We're pretty much halfway through the year, folks.
This is our only like official show that we had in May. Otherwise, it was just like me going live, demoing high level and all that stuff. But yeah, no, thanks for vibing it out, creating a space for me to like sip on some whiskey for the first time in a long time. Did anyone else drink any whiskey? Anyone else in the comments? Someone in the comments was like, I don't see any whiskey drinking. I literally had 2 sips. Anyway.
I actually don't drink. So
Yeah, I don't normally either. All right. Well, thanks, Jessie, for vibe coding and for showing Clay. I really appreciate it.
Love it. This has been
Awesome.
great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to close this out with a video. But before I do, Jessie, I let Dorothy let everyone know how they can reach out to her. If people want to work with LeadMagic or they want to like get into Clay and find you at the top there, like what do they need to know? Or like, I guess you're going to give us some, yeah, take it.
Just head into the Clay apps or the marketplace there and put us at the top spot. You know, if you've picked up anything here, put us at the top spot, give us a shot, and then we'll earn your trust. And then LeadMagic, just go to the website, leadmagic.io, sign in, sign up for an account, and you're good. And then if you want to get a hold of me, just DM LinkedIn. I read everything. I don't respond to everything, and it sometimes takes time. So I will try to get back to everybody, but it's there's some people that I just don't get back to. Sorry.
Yeah, that's just the reality of it. There's just
Just
thousands.
the mean bot. I have mean bot respond sometimes. No,
Yeah,
I'm
if you
kidding.
could get MeanBot integrated with LinkedIn, but on their approved APIs, that'd be really awesome.
No way. There's no way that I would ever.
break some
I like
hearts.
to play by the rules.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone. Everyone have a great night. I'm going to close this out with a video. Peace.